Hello everyone, welcome chat. If it's your first time, welcome here. If it's not, welcome back. Today's gonna be a fun learning from the master stream. We're gonna do this. Look at this. Okay, so this is an amazing painting that I found. Because it's just halfway done and it's just a unique opportunity to learn tons of stuff. I'm gonna regret putting that out of my setup, but whatever. It's a unique opportunity to learn so much stuff about the painting process just by looking at how you see all the steps. Huh? Pretty cool. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna have a look at Jacques-Louis David, who painted this. It's from the classical era, and this is, if you were wondering, yeah, this is Napoleon Bonaparte as a general. So I don't remember what year it is. Like, history geeks will probably know all about this era of Napoleon. It's like basically before he took over the power in France. And like, I don't know, there's a movie about Napoleon just at the moment, like Ridley Scott movie. Let me know how it is. I'm pretty sure history dudes will say, no, this is not accurate and that this is overinterpreted. And some people will say it's not historically accurate. As they always do, it's a movie, it's Hollywood, so what do you expect? We're gonna make paintings. And I don't care about the subject. What I like is that it's unfinished and we're actually going to learn so much from the very fact that it's unfinished. So everybody, welcome to the stream. Emo, Critbite, Eva, Gogar, Andre from Romania, Balsam, Jasmine, Nora, Cody, Ellie, Felicia. Hello everyone. Hi Atelier. So we're gonna do that. Before we do that, I had the perfect setup and I had to take it off for some reason. Okay. All right. What medium do you use? I'm gonna use oil paint for that. And let's have a look at some of David's work, just so that we are clear on who he was as a painter, what kind of moment in time he was. Let's say if you're French, if you're in high school in French, you see this painter in most books, manuals, but mostly like history books. It's not a David, the painter. He was not super, he was not as essential in the history of art as he was essential in the history. So if you study history, if you study the history of France, you'll definitely learn a lot about David, Jacques-Louis David, and his life is mostly connected to the French Revolution. So that's why you learn a lot about him. And most of his paintings, like this one, a lot of it is about Napoleon. He was very famous for that. So here's the bio. I'm not going to read it all, but this is what it's about. We're going to see a couple paintings. Gonna give you time to read because I'm not gonna do some reading. Notably, he had like pupils, like very influent pupils, including Ingres, painters like that. So neoclassical style is what you should keep in mind. We can maybe define what's neoclassical if you want. Bonjour Sandro. Laurent, are we doing another art challenge this week? Oh yes, we can, sure. let's do that. Well, after that, just remind me of voting for the new art challenge. Okay, so let's see some paintings. Okay, very famous painting. This one. The Death of Marat assassinated. This is, again, the history of the French Revolution. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, like the history details. However, I do want to talk a little bit about, you know, some elements of the composition which I think are important, like a super cool composition where the main subject is off center. And this is a painting about an assassination. So here's the main focus point. I don't know. Maybe we should ask Andrew if it's one of the golden ratio points. Not sure. But yeah, so very nice, even for a subject like that. Neutral composition, not a lot of depth, so you really focus only on the subject. Marat, this Marat guy, he had like skin problems, so he had to always be taking bath, and he was kind of part of, I don't know how to define, like a sort of I'm not gonna go through the entire history. Like, it's going to be too much of a mess to explain in English. Maybe I do have some explanations here at the bottom. Hold on. Okay, maybe, yeah, okay. This is the explanation. Just pause if you want. I'm gonna just, because yeah, I'm not gonna go through the entire history. Just forgive me for that. Just removing my headset and just take a screenshot. Just pause the video now if you're interested in the history. I'm just gonna look at the painting for its visual value. So great focus, great study on focus, working very flat. One of the main elements of neoclassical, it's something that came after Baroque, and the goal was to make things more geometric, more flat, with less depth, but more, you know, shapes organized in a very flat manner. So you had less distortions, but a lot more of a flat setup, like almost a little theater, and you're right in the center. And you see everything really well. It's very clear. The idea of neoclassicism is to clearly present details. So yeah, and this one, also a great example of this simple composition, but very, very strong. All right, let's see another one from David's. All right, so this is an example of neoclassical, the style of neoclassicism. See how the wall behind, it's flat compared to, like, there's no twisted perspective like there was with the Baroque. It's classical, very classical. So that's the point of neoclassical. Also the themes, the way, you know, this is a neoclassical type of rendering of the face. You idealize the features. Very idealized style, but still a lot of beauty, a lot of care in the a lot of technique, great technique. What I love about David is you always see the underpainting, and with this, you see the brown underpainting. We have it in the example that we're going to work on today, and see using the underpainting, very, very tight, very licked brush strokes. You don't see a lot of like great use of sfumato, great use of all the classical tricks in the book. Okay, I need to have notable for its use. of Venetian cutters, said in Wikipedia. Oh, thanks, Jasmine. Okay, so Venetian cutters. I don't know what they mean by Venetian. I think earth tones. I don't know. Maybe it was something different at the time. But see, a great use, like a good use of coloring, but with very clear demarcation. This is the note of classical. So you separate the characters by the use of color. So one yellow character here, yellow and blue. You have some codes, right? It's less messy than what you could get with, let's say, Baroque, where you had like a lot of twisting and moving around. So this is how it's made. Okay, and next. This one also super famous. So this is when Napoleon was on top of the world, basically. At the peak of its, frenzy of conquests. Conquering Europe, and this is symbolizing it. Another element of neoclassical is you have lots of details. So if you're a fan of details, well, you have a lot of them. Look at this. It's great. It looks awesome. Very well defined. It's not just suggesting the details. It's really, really making sure that the details look right. They almost look perfect. You can see all the straps, all the little, everything is very well represented. You have the shadow. It's all like, I don't know. I mean, this is great. I like this. The texture of the golden hat. And one of the original Napoleon hats was sold for a couple of millions, I think, $1.5 million at auction recently. So still worth, if you have a Napoleon hat in your attic, you can sell it for a good price. All right, so we're not gonna review everything. This is very neoclassical, like very, very neoclassical. This kind of style was mocked a little bit later on in the 19th century, but wasn't the point at the time of David. It was a little bit too early for that to become cliche, but it soon became cliche later on in the 19th century. After the first half of the 19th century, it became a little bit of cliche, and they started calling this style pompier in French because it reminded people of the helmets of the firemen. It was pompous. So that's why they call it pompier. And yeah, obviously, do they have the Napoleon one? No, they don't have the big one, apparently. All right, so just this one. But yeah, very famous for his representation of Napoleon. But look at this. If you love nicely painted details that looks even better than real, this is a study, right? A study for the big painting. Still looks super sweet. It's for a study, it's not bad. And yeah, if you're a fan of more, I don't know, the more, loose brushwork, this is not for you. But if you're a fan of details and texture, this is just gorgeous. And we're gonna see with the study that we do today, we're not gonna see a lot of the details, but we're gonna see how he builds the painting from scratch. What's super nice about David is it was as much about the teaching and the process as it was about the, like at the time, it was an academy. So you had to, as an artist, you were a part of the academy, and the role of creating the art and transmitting the tradition and the skills to the students were just done at the same time. So David has had assistants, and he was teaching them how to paint with the neoclassical style. And they were, and so you see a lot of the process, because it was kept by the assistants. It didn't, like, it was kept in the academy probably. So a lot of the sketches, the studies, the unfinished paintings, like the one we're gonna do, it was kept preciously at the academy. So you have a little bit of all the stages. You can see all the stages. You even have like this, there's this one painting. So what is this one? Is this by him? So it's a drawing. So lots of studies. For each painting you have lots of studies. So if you're a fan of looking at the prep work, David and one of his most famous students, Ingres, are definitely great artists to check out, because you see everything he did to get to where you see all the figures, and like you see the technique, which is why this is a great artist. Even if you're not a fan of the style, if you just want to learn and see a bit about how an artist could be doing this type of art, this is how it worked. Great drapery study. David à mon ami Chauvet. To my friends, it's a dedicated drawing. So you see the grid, so probably to transfer it to a canvas. So full of, it's an artist that's full of things to learn. So you have like really sketch-like drawings like that, and also very detailed drawings. Another one of his very famous paintings, this one of Lavoisier. That's super cool. I'm a fan of this texture. Really looks great. The feathers, even like the writing on the paper. It's like, come on. What is this trickery? Kind of an unconventional pose with his with Madame Lavoisier. Very cool painting as well. I love loose brushwork, but find myself adding too many details. I'm practicing more loose strokes currently. Well, it's not a sin to focus on details if you do it as well as David in here, for example. Like in this case, I think the details in this case, man, they make a difference, because they really make it feel the presence of the object. It almost, you can feel the metal, you can feel the mercury. Yeah, I think it's mercury. It's just amazing. Look at this. You can guess what element, what chemical elements it is just from looking at it. Like this jar, look at this distortion. This is more than detail, it's just making the objects feel real. I don't know, do you consider this part here as a detail? Or, because to me it's not even a detail, it's just realism. I don't know, this is the kind of stuff that I really like this little touch here. If you didn't have this distortion, it wouldn't feel the same. Or this, the fact that there is a shadow here. This might feel like a detail, but this little shadow here makes all the difference in the world. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if I would go to the extent of actually drawing and calligraphing all the little letters. This is a nightmare to do with a brush. But hey, That's cool. The perspective is there. It's just there is none of this super, tunnel-like vision that Baroque had, where the goal was to put more and more depth into the artwork. With neoclassicism, you never hesitate to put a wall in the background. You'll see there usually the background is cut off with a wall, flat like that, or with a very slight inclination like here, or maybe some type of drapery, even to hide the background, or you have something like that. You have just a little tiny landscape, kind of common for portraits of this type, but you'll often have this, like a flat wall. Something like this. See, flat wall. That's a very common thing in neoclassicism. Flat wall, like curved, but like still, the space is not endless. That's one of the key things. I'm trying to find another one. See, flat wall. Flat wall. Here it's also flat. Oh, and this one is also super interesting. Talk about, and it's so funny as well, like these were, like, imagine these are the politicians of the time. This is the poem Oath. So it's a crucial moment of the French Revolution. These guys are not supposed to be naked in the final painting, which was never finished, and it stayed in this state. But he still painted them entirely naked. So imagine you put all the members of your Congress or whatever, political, all the politicians of your time naked in a room, and then you add the clothes on top of the underdrawing. That's just a crazy thing. But he had, like, this was the classical, very classical, so inspired by the Greek and Roman canons. So you had this. Yeah, they're not supposed to be naked in the final thing. They'll have clothes. But David insisted on having the bodies actually represented according to the canons, and they are all super buffed. Look at these politicians. Well, good for them for hitting the gym, right? Working out. My God, these represents the I don't know how you call this. Tiers état, clergé, and noblesse. But whatever, like it, and they are actual people from this time. Yeah, that's how into the classical canons David was. The goal was to really have the perfect, the idealized version of the body. Yeah, talk about starting from scratch, right? Oh my God. Yeah. Yep. It's funny now because thinking that these guys were the politicians at the time, man, now I'm having these flashes of Joe Biden and all these guys. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's how it worked. But the idea behind this was you never, with clothes on, you never really have a good rendition of the body, and you lose a bit of the movement, so the proportions are not ideal. because of the drapery is just hiding the actual movements of the body underneath. And this was just the way to not have this as a problem. So create more impressive movements. And here you can actually see how this is the finished part. Unfortunately, this part is not really well photographed. I don't know, it's pixely on my screen as well. So it's not yours, it's also pixely on my end. So, and this is how it was supposed to be made. See, little touches. And this technique is called tiling. You have artists who do that, kind of Scott Waddell, if you check him out, Waddell webisodes on YouTube, he does kind of a technique like that. So very well rendered technique and finished, almost finished at the first layer. So doing everything with like tiny brush strokes, making sure the brush strokes are almost as good as final. So I'm not saying that he didn't glaze and do some corrections later on, but almost as good as final. So no underpainting. There is no underpainting. There is only a light wash, then the drawing, which is inked, I think. And in my study, I'm not gonna ink. I don't, because I don't have ink like that would work. But you know, and the painting is not done. It's done in layers, but the main parts are just painted to perfection with the very first go. So the very first layer is done to be as good as possible and as highly rendered as possible. Oh, on this one you can see better. So this is technically a finished portrait, right? Also a super important element, you have parts of the background here, because if you want to draw this part here where I have my cursor, if you want to draw this part, you need some of the background to correct. If it pushes too much on this side, you need some of this color here. And little strokes, working by building up thickness progressively, but never too much, just always very balanced, a very interesting approach that's not done very often. Like on YouTube, in the figurative painting sphere, I think only, Scott Waddell, to my, if my memory is right, is doing using this type of approach where, like, even if you take just a small part of the painting, this small part, it looks finished. I call this tiling. I don't know how you call this, but that's just how I understand it. Like, you put tiles, and whenever you put tiles, you never put tiles on top of other tiles. So the tiles are there to stay, right? When you tile the floor in your house, that's how you do. And that's kind of the same thing. Don't push that thing in your mind. No, I'm sorry. Sorry for putting this idea of your favorite politicians naked. I'm really sorry. Okay. All right. Let's, before we jump, I'm going to start painting. Before we jump, let's vote and have a round of suggestions and ideas for our beloved, hold on, art challenge. I'm gonna just get the art challenge from last time in the background. So hold on, I'm putting this. So give me your ideas. Last time we did this one. This was the challenge. And it was fire, candlelight, and light bulbs. So we had these, some great submissions for the challenge. And how about this time? What ideas do you have? So just a reminder of what was suggested. This one. This one. So this was our last challenge, and this one is not finished, I think. This was our last challenge, so how about now? And this is the finished part by Julie. All right, cool. So how about now? What now? We need to think about a new idea. Let's do this. Sorry you missed this one. It's all right. It's gonna be other ones. So how about drapery? Good idea. So I'm gonna include drapery in the poll because I think drapery is a cool idea. Next art challenge idea. So number one, drapery. All right, other ideas. Water. The only way to submit a challenge is on Discord. It's way easier for me if everything is on Discord, so yeah. All right, so fabric, I'm gonna count fabric with drapery, but yeah, drapery, fabric. Okay, water and water reflections. Okay. I like those ideas. I don't know what I would choose. Okay. And glass. Glass is also a cool idea. Okay. That's cool. So I've had 3 ideas. I can add a 4th or just go with the 3 that we have. All right, I'm gonna give it some time. Just try to get some raw umber prepared, and that's I'm gonna do. Glass goes better with drapery. No, it's fine. I can add like 4 ideas and then we vote. So, if there's a final idea, now is the time. Otherwise, I'm gonna launch the poll. Well, they're all pretty. Yeah, they can be pretty difficult. It doesn't have to be a thing like cows with cow skin. All right. Oh man, the cow is going to follow me. But as I was saying, it doesn't have to be something super complicated. It can be a very small study. See in the submissions on the candles, like some of them were just like a little candle study, very small, like, and it's fine. Or a combination of them all. Oh my god, this patty, no, this is tricky. This gets tricky because it forces people to have a very elaborate still life. I don't want the art challenge to be a pain. Like, that can be a good idea. That sounds like an amazing idea. Like water reflections, glass, and drapery. Sounds like a still life, like a complete still life project to me. I really love this. All right, and okay, add an option. So metal. I'm just gonna type metal and you figure it out, right? All right, bam! Poll is on. Vote. Vote, people, vote. Don't let someone else take your voice. Oh, this would be a challenge, Patty, definitely. Yeah. Anyway, I'm always encouraging like all types of tricky and complicated art that you want to do. It's just like the challenge is mostly a fun thing. I've other questions that I've like some people were feeling bad because they had these the paintings that they have were made before. So this was an old painting. It's okay. It's okay, definitely. Yeah, definitely okay to put an old painting and come back later. Fully in shadow. All right, maybe an idea for next time. Yeah, sounds like a cool idea. Yeah, Balsam, in this case, just send me, maybe if you want to do it, just send it to me on Instagram. As long as I don't have like all the images coming from Instagram, just, I don't know, tag me in it or tag someone from the chat in it and they'll put this on Discord. I don't know. All right, so at the moment, Drapery is winning. Okay, so I'm gonna actually change microphone. Hello. Yep, I'm still here. Oh. All right, so can I have the reference image as well? Oh, a little bit too big. Maybe I'll put the reference image here. Hold on. Okay, I'm just trying to have the image at the right size, probably here. Okay. All right. I always vote for stuff I've already done. No problem. Good strategy. Good strategy. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with just a bit of raw umber, because let's go traditional. So this is a canvas. It's actually cotton. I don't work very often on cotton, but I chose to use cotton in this case because it's a study and cotton is less expensive, so for me it will be better. Sorry, I'm adjusting the brightness. Okay, so all right, so yeah, let's just start. So yeah, I'm not gonna have the same type of line that he had because it was done with a transfer technique and with an inking. It's very delicate, very nice and soft. I'm not sure I'm gonna have the same results because I'm gonna try to paint this with a brush directly. So yeah, we'll see. All right, drapery fabric is still winning. Okay, so this part of the technique, yeah, I don't have this ink or this thing, so I'm gonna try to replicate the same type of lining, but with a brush. So I'm gonna try to figure out what brush will work. What brush will work better for that? Maybe this one will be a little bit too thick. I'll switch to something more pointy if needed. Alright, so another information while I'm on it, it's that no guest this week for the Friday session, and actually I can remove the reference for the time being. No guest this week for Friday's session. Yeah, Friday's stream with Andrew is great, but I have no one this time, and also I'm not going to be there on Friday, and the stream will be on Thursday. Is it dry? Okay, it's almost dry. So stream will be on Thursday, because I'm gonna be at a show opening, a group show opening on Friday. Alright, since I'm copying a neoclassical work, I'm gonna try to pay a great attention to the drawing. I'm never gonna have the same look, but whatever. I'm gonna try my best. Oh yeah, for me it's more about for me this group show is more about meeting people, you know. It's kind of a lot of great artists to hang around with. Like I've got only two paintings for this one. Thanksgiving here on Friday or Thursday? Thursday, okay. So do you recommend that I don't stream? It's not worth it? Is that goose? Isn't that turkey? I always thought this was turkey. Is like goose the other Thanksgiving animal? I don't know, I'm not familiar at all with this. I just had this one Thanksgiving experience when I was a student in Germany. There was this American student, and for Thanksgiving she invited us. But I remember eating pretty normal food. For her, it was like this big thing, and I was like, sounds pretty normal, like mashed potatoes, and to me it was like yeah, very normal, but maybe it's just because she was, you know, a student in Germany. She didn't have what she would normally want to use during a Thanksgiving with family and stuff. So, but I had this very underwhelming Thanksgiving experience. Can you compete with football? I don't know, because first of all, the thing that you call football is not football, but whatever. If you want to call it that, I mean, you get to have your own cultural exceptions, right? I mean, the entire world is calling football something that you play with your actual feet. If you don't want to do that, fine. I get it. You want to be special and feel different and have your own sport that you're guaranteed to be best at. Because you definitely are not great at male normal football, like what you call soccer. But your feminine team is definitely, I have to say, I think they didn't win this time in Spain, but in top. It's funny how women football is so big in the US. But the male national team struggles. Yeah, soccer is mostly for kids, as I understand, in the US. I don't know, it's very big in the entire world. It's just that you're kind of left out, except for women soccer. It's violent, people love it. Yeah, I guess. We have rugby for that. And rugby is it's super different from like football. So from now on, I'm gonna call American football what you call football, and I'm never gonna say soccer because this is not a word. But I'm gonna call football like football. But yeah, there is a huge cultural difference in France, in England as well, like in most countries that do both sports, between rugby and football. It's really not the same spirit at all. And yeah, rugby is pretty rough, but it's like, still it's brutal, but still it's a game of gentlemen. Very, very British in a way. But yeah. So we have rugby for that. With no helmets, no armor, no body armor, nothing of the sort. I'm a little cold, so I'm gonna grab my vest. Yeah. Well, first of all, you shouldn't chat while you're driving, Gary. What what is that about? Isn't that illegal? I mean, I know texting while driving is like not safe. They stop every 10-15 seconds and just play. A lot of, from what I get, a lot of Americans complain about like actual football, that there's not enough goals scored. So yeah, for lots of people, like if you're a fan of basketball, you don't necessarily get the same, you know, like there's not as many points scored. And I think what works for most people is it's exactly that. It's this, there's a lot of suspense, like which team is going to win, and the scores are always very close, so you've got a lot of drama. Just scoring just this one goal can be huge, see, because it's just there's less goals overall. But I've heard like some people were saying, why is football not as popular in America? And they were suggesting that it's because there's not enough goals scored. I don't know. Pumpkin bread. Yeah, football can be slow. It's not. It's just that it doesn't have to be slow. And you can have a very intense game that ends on a 0-0 in the end. It can still be an entertaining game. Or a 1-1, something like that. Because you can get a lot of drama. Golf. Do people actually watch golf? I really like this movement with the eyes looking like that and the contrapposto with the angle of the shoulders. So it really brings it brings a nice twist in the body, very elegant. So it's a time when Napoleon was still just a general. So he didn't have the same, you know, ego at the time. So it's a more laid back pose. Elegant pose, I think. Oh, nutmeg and cinnamon. Yes, I just did. I just dipped the tip of this. Otherwise, I'm using just dry. It's just a bit of paper towel fold. And if I need to erase a bit more, I'm gonna use a very small touch just by dipping the very tip, just to get some kind of eraser effect, because I'm not using a pencil. Alright, I'm gonna use this line here because there's this very prominent shadow line. So it's very important that I try to have this right. Hey, no problem, Aurelia. It's cool. And just if you want to just keep it in, you know, some file where you have, like, you know, I have this big file on my computer with tons of painting references, like from all over the place. And this one was in my database, my own personal database of the works that I collect and I think might be useful. And this was definitely in my database, just not HD, so I had to find the website, and a website where people can download it in better quality. And I found it because actually this one was from a magazine, like not a magazine, but like an art. Yeah, I have these art magazines, like these art publications, you know. My old trick that I do all the time is that I always cut off the pages in my art books. Oh, this is this one actually. So yeah, it's an old art book collection that I picked up, like somebody was giving it away. Look at this. It's also here. Whoa, it's Paintingception. I thought I took it from here, maybe. Oh, so they had the same painting twice in the same magazine. It's weird. What magazine does that? Super strange. I didn't realize that. This is the big... I don't think you can get anything from this magazine reference because, like, the figures here are too tiny, but this painting is massive if you ever see it in real life. So yeah, things like that. Sometimes if you can get your hands on some, you know, at a flea market, anywhere. Like, I don't really care for these. They're like, I didn't pay for them. I just got them for free. Like, they're full of artists with reproductions. Like, the text is not super great. The photos are not the best, but still very useful. So that you don't have to print yourself. If you're good at printing, perfect. But if you're like me, your printer is your worst enemy, and the less you use this spawn of the devil, the better you are. So I don't know. My printer is always requesting something from me, so I very rarely print my own subjects. So magazines are the way to go if you want to avoid that. Hello Nova 91. American football is also physically dangerous. Many are opting out of NFL because of the risk of CTE. Yeah, brain damage to make it short. So right now I'm just working with the minimal amount of paint that I can get on my finger, not painting with my finger, on my brush. Do we know why he didn't finish the painting? I think the guy was just moving way faster than paint, and at the time the painting got to this point, this guy was probably already the emperor of France and in the entire Europe, for what I know. So this is the craziest time, and this is one of the most unique characters. I think it's just because it was a painting of him as a general, but he didn't stay as a general for a long time. He went from being a general to a consul to then being into a triumph. There was 3 guys. They were supposed to rule France for a while, and then he became just the only one, and then he became the emperor. That's basically it. Like, this is the guy that ended the French Revolution. Like, the French Revolution was just a messy era with chaos, and he was the guy to end the chaos and replace it by his rule. Still divisive figure, even in France. So I think the painting never got finished just because of the history. It was going just so fast. It was just chaos. Just imagine just the end of the French Revolution. Lots of heads had fallen off, and lots of chaos. Like, the revolution was starting to eat itself. Just like most revolutions most revolutionaries end up killing themselves between each other, and it ended because Napoleon just said, okay, I'm gonna be a tyrant and I'm not gonna give everybody any choice. And because he was bringing the money from conquering all the other countries and pillaging them, well, he made things better. When you don't know what to do, just declare war to other countries, and if you win, you're good to go. The oldest trick in the book. So yeah, I think the painting never got finished for that. Just it took more time to paint than to become the emperor. Crazy times. Laurent, do you make prints of your paintings? No, I don't make prints. I don't make my own prints. And a book or a catalog. I do a catalog every time I have a show. Yeah, which is why French Revolution and American independence are connected. Should have finished it from a reference photo. Yeah. Oh my god, I can't even imagine having this guy pose for you. Like, imagine having to... I don't know how this guy could stay still. You know, even when the Brits captured him at the end and he finished on St. Helens Island, like in the ocean, they had to give him like some sort of a title of being the governor of this small tiny prison island of his. It was just such a such a unique character in the history. Ah, okay. Cool. Thanks, Jasmine. Thanks, Wikipedia, I have to say. But the session lasts 3 hours and is not repeated. So in 3 hours he did this? That's crazy, because I'm not going to have like a tenth of that in the 3 hours that I can spend now. David abandoning the painting to return to work on the Sabines. It was also to continue this work that he declined Bonaparte's offer to come. Ah, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, but imagine they have to make this guy pose. It's like any character, like if you have to paint the Queen or the President of the United States, you have, I think I visited the museum where they have all the paintings from the POTUSes, and it was super interesting because you really see all the different eras. At the time I visited, the last president was Obama. So, but like, imagine having the president of the United States pose for you, and you have to make a painting. Oh, he's there. This isn't the plot to go watch the movie. Yeah, I'm paid by Ridley Scott. Could be a plot. I smell setup, yeah. Got to learn how to paint rats. Oh. Yeah, I guess. You have to forget about the mess from the outside world and just focus on your job. Or maybe that's why David painted them all naked in his oath painting, like this big painting that we saw earlier. And maybe he was like, oh, I hate these guys, I'm gonna make them naked and humiliate them. Maybe it was a plot. Yeah, this the thing that a lot of people mocked afterwards, the Sabines, like all this neoclassical era where they had to paint everybody naked because it was kind of rule, the ideal canon of, you know, classical age, Greek and Rome. So you had to paint everybody naked, even to the point that it didn't make any sense at all. Why would you go to a battle in a war naked? Why? It doesn't make sense and it looks silly. And so after the era of Romanticism and era of like artistic revolution of the 19th century, they really made fun of this type of very contrived art. Well, I think the naked thing is just, it was part of the canon, and they were all about making, it was just an excuse to paint, you know, beautiful bodies, very idealized bodies according to the Greek canons. And, you know, they wanted every painting to be like that, so they were all naked before, even though it didn't make much sense. I think it was just more an excuse to paint beautiful bodies and just use the canons. They were all about like the Greek ideal. So what has everybody been working on? What are your big projects outside of art challenge, which we should be ending? I think there's no more votes. So, drum roll. Everybody has voted for the art challenge, the poll. Everybody has voted final. I don't think any amount of votes will be enough to just right, final votes coming up. Still have some people voting. I think drapery is still going to be a clear winner. I don't think we can have last minute votes to change this. Alright, done. So it's going to be drapery and fabric. Cool. Alright, let me check this one. I'm gonna actually put this right away in the Discord. Let's do that. See you, Gary. Drive safe. Okay. Alright, so I just took a screenshot of the... Alright, cool. So drapery fabric. Yeah, pretty nice. Actually, we saw a David drapery study. Getting stuck in leaf paintings and pottery. Leaf painting? What's a leaf painting? Painting, like the subject is a leaf, is it?
almost 4 years to paint. Wow. That's dedication. See? Makes me feel less bad about me being slow. Oops, sorry. Okay. Yeah, it makes me feel less bad about how slow I am. Makes me feel better about myself. For 4 years to paint. Also, it's a massive painting though, so it's not like any painting. It's gigantic compared to what I do, but hey, 4 years. 4 years. Okay, not so bad. A tissue challenge. Still life including a glass face. That's cool. Green getting near the top of favorite colors. What kind of green? I thought you were talking about a pigment like, I don't know, phthalo green, something like that. Like green in general, you mean? Working on a still life of a fish, onion, and cut lemon on a white platter. So how long does the fish has to stay next to your canvas? Because that's the real challenge. Finish the painting before the fish rots. Okay, working from a photo. Yeah, safer. It's safer, definitely. Well, you know, they had the wigs this time. Napoleon actually never wore a wig, but it was kind of insane. The wig really messed up their hair though. I think actually Napoleon kind of stopped that. He was like, no, I'm not gonna wear this. Silly. Like this era is really weird in terms of hairstyle. Like these big white wigs. Who came up with the idea first? Thanks, Joy. Yeah. I still think I prefer that to the wigs. Like weird white wigs. I mean, this is really. I'm glad we're done with this trend and that it never came back because it was not the best looking. Didn't they start wearing the wigs because of all the hygiene problems to just sort of hide the mess in some sort? If anybody wants to look it up, why did they wear wigs in the 16th and 1700s?
Any ideas? So you think it was just to look cool? They had their hair white? Yeah, Danielle pretty much do very small corrections, scratching. Dry shampoo was created back then when they cleaned their hair with powder. Yeah.
Ah, thanks for the info. Okay, I'm gonna highlight all this. In the 17th century, hairlines were an important aspect. A well-bred man. Syphilis, so it's because of syphilis, basically. People couldn't just keep it in their pants, and they had hair loss, and they had to wear goofy wigs. Good hair was associated with status and style, boldness, and hair loss compounded the shame of having syphilis. So technically they invented a fashion that said everybody was supposed to wear these wigs so that you couldn't see which one had syphilis. Cool, cool. I guess if the first king starts, then everybody wants to do the same. Yeah, now it's more about like showing your head. Like, we don't have like a, a very specific type of hat for men. Anymore, like you can wear whatever type of hat you want. We don't have any type of headwear anymore. Yeah, not easy, I have to say. Not easy with the, it's not super big, but it's still a canvas, so I can't use something super tiny because it just wouldn't work against the texture of the canvas. Like a very small, super small linear brush would just not register on the canvas. You have to kind of press against it. But you know, I hope it will work when. So after that, there's kind of a very diluted wash that creates these shadows. I hope I can show it in the reference, maybe like that. With this, you can, I don't know, yeah, you don't really see that much, but you see how you can see the underpainting in the, so there's like kind of a wash, and you actually see the brush marks right here in this reproduction. It's not really visible. Actually, I think the colors on this one are more accurate to what I have, but hey, okay, let's put it back to, okay. Yeah, so I need to do this wash on this part. What the issue is, what pigments? I need to start figuring it out. Some type of transparent red, maybe it was a Venetian red. They had medicine in using poison. Well, you know, sometimes the poison and the cure the poison and the cure are often the same. It's just a matter of dosage. In Wiki, it tells how David himself had major health issues with facial deformity. It's strange because I don't know, mine just feels way too narrow. I have the impression that my model has bigger shoulders. It's just wider overall. So it's really nothing special. My palette knife is really entry level palette knife from I think, I don't know where I got them. No specific brand. So yeah, I think it's this one. Queen Victoria was a painter? I never knew that. I've seen this video about that King Charles also paints, like kind of as a hobby. I haven't clicked on it. George Bush also apparently is a painter when he, like as a hobby. Jim Carrey, I think. Lots of celebrities paint. Makes you feel superior when you paint better than them. It's like tiny revenge. Johnny Depp also paints beautiful paintings. I don't know, never saw them. Yeah, Churchill is there's kind of a big history of painting, and his paintings are quite collectible. Maybe it's just as much for the, you know, the historic value. Waverly's doing your version. I'll have a look. Alright, so oh man, I'm gonna try this. I don't know what he did to create this area in the hair that's here. I mean, I'm gonna just see how it's brown and transparent. So I need to find a pigment that would more or less match this. So I need to find something, I don't know, I'm not sure about what pigment he used. I'm pretty sure. So I worked with raw umber so far. What I can do is maybe raw umber and some type of transparent red oxide, just to give it this this kind of warm feeling. I'm gonna kind of cheat because I'm not sure if it's an iron oxide or an umber. This looks too... It has to be very light. It looks too orange, what I have right now. Just umber. It's just a very, very small amount of the iron oxide. I don't know. Actually, I can zoom in while I'm doing it. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it has some redness, right? I want that, but it can go. It can be too much very fast. Maybe that would look kind of okay. Let's see. The problem is maybe it had more orange. Well, I'm gonna put the orange on the side because I can always include more later. And also, man, I need to take this in consideration. The reproduction that I have right here, what you're looking at, it's actually the print from the book, and it's not perfect. It's not perfectly accurate. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna do some type of wash. And see how it goes. see how it goes. Ultramarine blue and burnt umber. No, I don't think it would work in this case. Don't you think it's an unshaved beard on the chin and cheek? Unshaved? No, I think it's shaved. It's just the shadows and the fact that it's unfinished. You have some brush marks. Like you see, all these are actually brush marks. They are not completely finished. You see the hair is not entirely done. Right. The only thing that I don't have is a brush that has the right. I'm gonna try with this. I don't think I have the right brush or the right style of brush. I'm committing a kind of a sin. Oh, thanks for the zoom. Actually, I can readjust the focus. Yeah, perfect. What I really want is I want a brush that would have the right size, because you see when you look at the model, a lot of the brush strokes are very much about, you know, using a small brush, always the same size and always like kind of the same direction. So really this diagonal direction. You can see how he was a right-handed artist from just the orientation of the stroking, and he was just doing some sort of a tapping with paint, not very fluid. However, you have this wash underneath that's kind of more fluid. That's what I'm trying to get right now. What's below here? This is alright. This is pretty easy. It's opaque paint, so you get what you apply on the canvas. But this is more tricky because there's the effect of transparency. It's hard to get, and you really want this type of brush. Otherwise, you don't get the same effect. I'm gonna do my best, but. Maybe with another brush, kind of hot bristle, or maybe I need to pick up a new brush. This one, maybe. Yeah, it probably has, but I don't know, it's just mostly unfinished. You know, you don't care about something unfinished like you would with something that's you consider finished. Maybe that. Okay, well, let's try. We try this one. You can see all this whirly, twirly strokes, but it's actually, no, it's not wet at all. I should slow down on the spirits. Yeah, way too wet. It's almost dry brush. I think he just separated the shadows from the lights. Man, I went too wet on this one and I'm gonna regret it. So I'm gonna try absorbing because right now chrome red? Did I talk about chrome red? Or chrome yellow? Remember talking about chrome yellow at some point? I don't think I ever mentioned chrome red. Okay, works better. Maybe too. Maybe too yellow and too bright. Okay. I'm just gonna cheat and add a touch of this black here, this black mix. And desaturate it. Oh really, this portrait was on banknotes? I didn't know that. I don't know if I might, if I should do a second session for this one. I don't think I'm gonna have it done in this one session, just like that. I think it will take more. Because I don't see how far I can get, because I still don't have the likeness. And if I don't have the likeness at this point, I mean that it's a little bit more, a little bit tougher for the rest. But if I do a second session on this one, you guys are going to get bored. I find it fascinating. It's just I have this feeling that I need to do it right, and that it's not right at the moment. Hi Jonas. So yeah, might need an extra episode on this master study. Cool. That's, if it's interesting, then you're gonna find a lot of things interesting on my on my channel. Well, in this case, it's the likeness. If I want to follow kind of David's footsteps, I need to really nail the likeness during the drawing stage. It's like I still have some leeway to fix it later with the paint. Normally the paint, this stage afterwards is a little bit more precise. But if I want to follow David's approach, I shouldn't neglect the drawing and move on with an unreliable drawing. So yeah, should work. If I want to make it work, I should make it work with a almost perfect drawing. And at the moment, it's not. So, hey Akira. So, yeah, shadows around eyes, it's just the eyes are not placed right. I'll make the shadows when the eyes are at the right spot. Mirror, definitely. Got mine here. Yeah, well, that's the point of the live clouds of sunset. It's everybody's working on their own stuff. Some people make art, some people follow along. Actually, I think if you go to the Discord, you have some people who posted pictures of their progress following along. Okay, so now the mouth. Okay. Getting closer slightly. Okay, mouth was too high. And I think I can drop the nose a little bit and make it more eagle-like. Is that a word? Describe the nose. A dreadful artist. Hello? So what's dreadful? Are you dreadful, or is it your art? Kind of worried. Okay, so I think by making the nose slightly longer and putting the mouth slightly lower and reshaping the jawline, it should be slightly better. Not perfect, but still like usable, so that I can switch to the next stage. Not finishing today, of course, but I might be able to switch to the next phase. Oh, you do dark art. Okay, cool. So kind of what? Nightmare stuff? Horror? I don't know. I like it. I like the energy. I like the movement. And I like, what I like is, I didn't say it's a masterpiece, I said it's an unfinished masterpiece. It's pretty rare that we have paintings that are testimonies of how the artist painted. And yeah, it's not always that you have, like, you know, a painting that shows all the stages, all the different painting phases that the artist used. Like, most of the time it's covered with, you know, paint, and it looks finished, and it's a mystery how the artist did it. Well, you can analyze, you can just, you know, study it. But like right there, it's visible. And I don't know, I just love this unfinished aesthetic. I don't know, I just find it so interesting and cool. I prefer it, to be honest, to finished paintings. And a lot of the finished paintings by David I like less than this one. Is this live stream Toby welcome? Toby's always welcome. Of course. Toby's our guy. You don't know who's Toby. Toby is a kind of a troll who was very like, who was a real pain in the you know what in the Discord. And that's Toby. Sure, and the fact also that it was left unfinished, but you know, it's not made, like it's not made on purpose. So really, like you see, like the genuine, like there's no, the artist didn't try to cover anything. Like you see the true technique just unfolding. The only thing you don't see is probably in the case of David, he probably used a drawing before, and he probably did the outline here with a prep drawing. And I think he did just the drawing with Bonaparte as the model. So when he had the model, he just did the drawing and then worked on the painting from the drawing alone, because you couldn't get a man like this to pose all the time or several sessions. So I think he just had like this, as Jasmine said from the wiki, just this one model session. What I like is also that it was not, like sometimes, you know, it feels kind of forced when you want to make this unfinished look on purpose. But here it was not made to be unfinished, which makes it more interesting, I think. Because yeah, the aesthetic of the unfinished is definitely a thing. Yeah, a lot of contemporary artists will leave parts of painting unfinished. Can look cool if done right, yeah. In this case, what matters to me is that it's not made to look cool. It's just not on purpose, which is even better. So, Jasmine, did they say if the painting was made in 3 hours or if he had a 3-hour session to do a drawing? Did they specify? Because I'm far from the 3-hour mark right now. I'm not catching up anytime soon. Well, thank you, Dreadful Artist. I don't know if it's worth blowing your mind, but Scott, well, I asked, no response, so I don't know. Probably busy. Chris, I didn't ask, so I might. Yeah, the chance is just how people respond to emails. You know, like most of us, we receive like lots of emails. So there's a big chance that my request is going to end up in the spam like the rest. A pro can do that in less than an hour? What, you mean the entire thing? No way. And just because someone is a pro doesn't mean they work necessarily fast. Yeah, it doesn't mean my emails don't get filtered and marked as spam. I don't have like this private phone numbers of all my YouTube colleagues, so like I know that I receive a lot of spam offers, like people suggesting to, you know, sell me like this super secret way to get more views, and so I've got lots of my YouTube email. Like it's kind of chaotic in this way. I have to do a lot of filtering. So who knows? Like they're pretty busy. Like I've asked a lot of people so far. I try to not ask too many people at once, because I want to still have time to organize this, and like if people say yes, I want to have the time to deal with it properly. So I'm never asking more than 2 artists at the same time, and I usually give it a week or 2 for a response before I give up. Yes, I have. I have done self-portrait. Yeah, I like to do both. But yeah, definitely my best stream moments are just in solo streams. It's mostly the type of interaction that I have with chat that make it a good stream or not. Like sometimes the chat is kind of slow, there's not a lot of, you know, jokes flying around. Depends, like it's different, like there's a different mood every day, and sometimes chat is really funny, like making lots of, you know, saying lots of interesting stuff, or I don't know, it depends. But generally when I have a guest, the problem is, like, it's cool, but with the guest you have less time to talk with chat, which is the main point of doing this live. Like, let's say, like right now, it's like there's this text-to-speech tool that I use that puts the text directly in my ear, so it's almost like you're talking to me. When I have a guest, I have to cut this off, otherwise it's like completely disturbing. So I lose track of what you guys are saying, which normally I always have, like, you know, kind of this weird robotic voice reading out loud the chat. It keeps me connected to chat. But it's also, I really like having guests because it like takes you on in a different, you know, takes you out of your zone of comfort, out of the routine. That can be you know, my own routine can be boring, even to me. I love doing these streams, but it's cool to have a different point of view, talk to someone. It's fun. Yeah, it's distracting trying to find the art, trying to work on the art, balance chat and guest. What I well, for Andrew, because there were so many people, I had to do a lot of chat management, and Andrew was doing very long, in-depth responses. So I couldn't I really had to focus on what he was saying. I couldn't really do a lot on my own painting. So this is why my painting for the episode with Andrew Tischler didn't, like, my own painting didn't advance a single bit. I painted 3 feathers and that was it. But it's kind of, well, it's like I don't mind, right? I like this as well. The point of the streams is not always to be like constantly working and doing something significant in the background. It's not what it's all about. What it's all about is mostly the interaction. And the interaction is what matters. Sometimes the best thing I can do is just put down the brush, just talk. Yeah, I'm supposed to have mods. I think Gary is my mod. I don't have any mods at the moment. If somebody wants to become a mod, just raise your hand and let me know, because I need mods. Yeah, it takes some getting used to, and it's not made for everyone. Not made for everyone. Like some artists, I know they really can't do that. Like it's just they just can't. Like it's some type of multitasking that their brain just doesn't want to do at all. And generally they are kind of aware of that. Did I harass? Now, if my mods start harassing each other, I would be in quite a bad situation. Many YouTubers may chat with a friend, helping to select questions. Well, I don't have, like, usually I don't have enough questions for this to be a thing. Maybe I should do a guest once a month. No, I'm not, like, the point is not to make it every Friday though. Just to be clear, it just happened that all the guests that could do it every Friday in a row. So it's not. It wasn't meant. I didn't force it to be every Friday is guest Friday. It just happened that they were all available 3 Fridays in a row like that. Okay. Tricky painting. It's a tricky portrait, I don't know. Getting to this point was way more tricky than I thought. And getting to the next stage is not gonna be super easy as well. Maybe I could do that as well. Would be a YouTube session with followers. So we just join the Discord and turn your camera or share your screen, and we have a nice session. Maybe I'll do that for when I reach a certain milestone. I don't know. I should start having, setting up some goals. Like, we should know where we are going, or try to have an objective for what we want to do with this. Yep, well that's the Discord that I was talking about. Like in my Discord server, there is a channel and we can all join the channel, up to 25 people actually, so it would be pretty... I don't think 25 people will join, but I can go up to 25. So that would be cool. Oh, merci Anne. Oh yeah, in a good way. I would definitely need more mods if I have to do that. Maybe if we reach, like, when to celebrate the 400,000 on my channel, 400,000 subscribers, we'll have a live stream with followers. Thanks, Jonas. It was tough to get there. It doesn't look like it from the outside, but it's actually very delicate. It's much more delicate than I thought it would be. And I struggled more than I thought. I don't know, in my head it felt more angular and more, you know, kind of a roughness of this face, but it's actually way more delicate than it looks. Not perfect. It's not the perfect setup, but it's good enough so that I can start the next session with on a good basis. So it will be 2 sessions max. Alright, so seriously tell me before I do a mistake. Serious time. Should I be making a live stream on Thursday since it's Thanksgiving? Or do you think I don't know how I don't know if what people do in Thanksgiving, if like nobody is going to show up because everybody will be doing Thanksgiving-y things, I can just do the stream another day. I don't have to do it on Thursday. You tell me what you think. Because, for example, I know I'm not going to stream on Christmas Day, for example. So I know I wouldn't be live on Christmas Day. So is Thanksgiving kind of the same for you? And you think it's not worth it? Not everybody is from the US here, I know, but like let me know just by. Actually, I'm gonna just do a poll before we go. Lots of people like to get a break from family, so a stream would be nice. Okay, noted. I don't know. Well, like I'm not used to this. Yeah, watching a stream while cooking your Thanksgiving dinner. And because yeah, I'm not here on Friday, Saturday is not possible either, so it would be Sunday or just next week. I mean, it's not a problem. I don't mind. I don't like have to stream. It's just normally this fits in my schedule, but I don't have to. Okay, I get you, Jasmine. Yeah, something is still not right with the nose. Heck. I made him look way younger than he is because the nose is not long enough, and just something with the shape of this head. That's tricky. I'm gonna say the eyes are further apart, nose slightly longer, still. Oh man, I'm having this quick fix, which is generally never great, but hey. What is less dimensional? It's tricky because there's no shadows to see. I think maybe the eyes are slightly more farther away from each other. Alright, as long as it's something that I can fix later. Oh yeah, I got to get used to that. Like being spied on. Yeah, the shape of this edge here is not too bad. If it's just that, you know, this is a quick fix with in the next phase of the painting. You just push it slightly, not a big problem. The position of the eye is more tricky, the length of the nose, really the kind of stuff that it's better to figure it out sooner than later. Yeah, I agree with that. It's actually the entire line here, because the eyes were, so I don't know if you noticed, but I pushed this eye further apart slightly, and the rest has to be, obviously, once you push something, like the liquify tool in Photoshop, everything has to move with it. Well, exactitude, boring, but if you're doing portraits and if you want to have good likeness, it's kind of something you have to work on. Shouldn't obsess too much about it, but sometimes just a couple millimeters can be the difference between like a 15-year-old and a 35-year-old. Yeah, I still think it made a difference what I just did. I think it was a needed push, but if you rewind and watch how much I pushed it, it's not much. I don't know if you saw, I just scraped off a couple millimeters and just put the same line just slightly on the side. That's all I did, and then push the rest. But yeah, take care. I think I'm not gonna be long. Oh, cool. Portrait commission. Ah, that's a lot of stress. Okay, so, oh, sorry. Oh. Okay, sorry for the sound, it's just my mic. Okay, good people of the internet.
I'm gonna leave you on that. Alright, so next time this will be the end, or maybe not next time, maybe I don't know when exactly I'll do the end for this one. But yeah, I'm gonna take it slow, so let's see how it worked. Let's see the comparison shots. Okay, that's not perfect, but it's good enough. So I'll see you for the next one. Thanks for being here. feel free to like before you leave if you haven't liked already. And yeah, thank you for being awesome as always. I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.